morning. We are back. Today is man, that's terrible. That is not gonna work. Right in my vision. So today we are going to be doing our conventional, our pink route. It is not the same as the pink route for Tucson. This one is just called the pink conventional route because it is an extra route that we created to house all of the stops that are difficult to get into with a regular size truck. So we use the tanker for this day. This is the one and only day I usually use this truck to complete this route. So we are going to do this route. I got one that I didn't get to yesterday that I need to get to today. And then I have, I think it's 12 others that I need to go to today that are difficult to get into. And you'll see some of those being serviced in back alleys, small parking lots. I got a customer that called in today that you have to back down their driveway, which is like a half a mile long. Not a half a mile, about a quarter mile long. You gotta back down all the way down their driveway to get them serviced. So it's easier to do it with one solid instead of having a trailer, because 28-foot trailers backing it down a quarter mile in a driveway that's as skinny as the truck with light poles on the side is a lot easier to do in the tanker. So we're gonna do that one today. They will be sometime this morning. They are way out of North Phoenix, so it's a little bit out of the way, but we're just gonna go ahead and take this truck home today. So I'm gonna leave my personal vehicle here at the shop. My shop hand's just gonna pull it in and park it inside of our gate right here. And then I'll come back to the truck. So, but first thing that we do this morning, my gauges are all messed up in this truck. Every once in a while it has some electrical issues. Like right now it says I'm idling at 1400 RPM. That's not true. It says I have no fuel, which is not true. The only thing that's working is my oil pressure gauge and my air gauge, which I guess are the two most important things to be working. So, but it's a 1995. So what do you expect out of a truck that's as old as my wife? So we're gonna go get some diesel, and then we will head out to our first stop, which is right up the street. It is a antifreeze testing facility. They test all of our antifreeze. It's a third-party tester for us. We hold a 100% guarantee on all of our Arizona-made antifreeze. So if any issues happen with our antifreeze for whatever reason to a vehicle, we have that tested through a third party to make sure that the numbers of the antifreeze are supposed to be the numbers that the ASTM requirements. All of our antifreeze is guaranteed to meet or exceed all of those numbers, and if they do not and an issue happens, and they test the antifreeze and says you're not at the numbers that we're supposed to be, then we replace that antifreeze and pay for the part and the labor to get whatever part was messed up fixed. So we're just gonna go right up the street here. It's on the other side of the I-10 interchange over there. Just a little card lock facility and a homeless encampment. And we're going to get this topped off. I'll see all my gauges work now. We're going to get this thing topped off so that we're good to go for the day. There is another fuel location that is basically at the end of my route today, but at a quarter of a tank, I don't think that I will make it all the way through today, so we're gonna go ahead and stop before we get started today. We've got some exciting stops to do. I got to go all the way out there, then we got a couple of shops that are next to each other, and then we have a stop that's over here. They're an engine rebuilder company. We have to drive, there's two places that we have to drive into their building today, which is why we have the little truck. One is a tour bus place. Their tank is all the way in the middle of the building, but we get to drive into the door up to the tank. So kind of convenient, but that's also why they're on this route, because if not, I would be able to make it with my hoses with the large truck. So so they're going to be done today, and then this other place we get to drive into their building because their tank as well is on the opposite side of the building, which makes it difficult to get to with running my other truck and trailer, because my hose line is not long enough to reach all the way to the tank. So and at that location they have 2 bench unit parts washers, and they asked for service to get both of those parts washer service done today. So we got all the stuff we need to get those done today. So let's roll up here. Can't find it, grind it. Just gonna roll up here and get topped off, and then we'll get started for the day. So we're gonna roll up here to pump number 1. So just a little rant here. Sometimes I come to this location and there are trucks that are stopped here at these double pumps that only have tanks on one side. And so what they'll do is like they'll stop. So the satellite for this pump is right here on this side, and the pump is right here. But on number 4, and let me get out and show you that. So you'll see number 4 is right here, but the satellite's over there. So if someone's right here, they pull up right here, then they use this pump to fill up. So if you pull up over there, you can't use that pump to fill up yours, and number 1 doesn't have one over here. So you have to wait for them to finish this pump in order for you able to use it. So that's my biggest gripe. So I'm gonna enter all my stuff here, and then we'll get refueling. So we're gonna head off to the first one and get 6 drums of not used, but 6 drum of antifreeze. It's just antifreeze that was taken, sampled, then they discard the rest. So we pick it up from them, and then we'll head off to our northern cities, come back all the way down, work our way this way. We have a stop that we can't go to until after 1 o'clock p.m. because nobody's there in between the time. It's a pain in the butt, but we try to accommodate the best that we can. Sometimes we can't. And then we'll work our way more towards the East Valley, and then once I'm done with the East Valley, then I'm just gonna go ahead and drive this all the way home and then drive it back in the morning to tomorrow we got some waste runs to do, and then we have a summit. So it's an automotive summit that we do every single year. I believe I told you about it in the last video, but for the people that haven't seen the last video, we sponsor this automotive summit, and it's a summit that invites all the automotive shops that are inside the valley to come and check out. You know, they can take classes to learn classes about business and you know, all the automotive goods, and then you can set up a booth being a sponsor and try to sell products or sell business. First stop today, right up the street from where we're at. This one is just a waste run, so right over here on top of their loading dock, they just got a few drums, so we're gonna suck those out. Sometimes this truck does have a little issue with being the first stop of the day, that it doesn't want to have suction, so we'll see how this goes. the invoice signed, and head off. Okay, this customer wants to get topped off on the gold. Customer beforehand, I didn't record any of it, but I did sell him a 6-gallon box of oil, and then if he likes the oil enough, he'll buy a drum of it. So let's get these guys topped off on the gold and head off into the abyss. All right, 35 gallons. Invoice signed. Get the heck out of here. All right, customer is approved. Fill in the gold. And ticket to use. So. Customer also called last week and requested pricing information on getting our oat coolant, which is like a GO5. Gave him the quotes. He said that he's gonna run it by and see if that was something that they wanted to do, and he did inform me that he does in fact want to go with that coolant. So wants to deliver it sooner than later. So what we're gonna do is next week, I think I have a day that I'm just kind of hopping from place to place. So I'm going to swing by a drum of that. We don't do bulk of that coolant just yet. It is something that we have talked about, making it our full-time goal, because it is a true universal between all platforms. Trying to get it at the good price point to make it a bulk, to keep customers, because it is more expensive than our extended life. But making it more profitable for, you know, bulk customers that take coolant by the gallon rather than by the drum. Just saves them for, like, you know, we do the bulk because we allow the customers to be able to fill up however much they want. This customer was at a quarter of a drum. If he wanted me to add 20 gallons, I would just add 20 gallons, you know, giving them 45 gallons, and that's all that, you know, they have to pay for, instead of most larger companies require you to buy drums. They don't do it in bulk by the gallon like we do. So when you go to these other larger national companies and you want coolant, they request that you buy like a drum or two at a time rather than getting it by the gallon. So just a little bit more flexibility that you can have with us is that we don't do that. Even for another option too, like brake cleaner. You know, we have our brake cleaner, but then you have if you don't order locally like us, you have to go through a different larger company, and then for them to get your brake cleaner, you have to get it freighted over in a semi to them. So usually you pay a cheaper price for price for the brake cleaner, but then they charge a $250, $300 freight charge to get it delivered to you. And freight can take possibly 2 weeks to get to you. So with us, we don't charge you to bring it to you. And you could have it in a maximum of 3 to 4 days. If I'm in town, I can get it to them probably within the next day. If I'm in the area when they call and I have one on me, I can get it to them same day, if they're not too much out of the way. So, but these guys are done. I'm gonna go ahead and fill them up with that, or write them an invoice, get a check, and then we'll head off to the next one.